She had never known defeat until that day the sky was full of fire, her sisters screamed, and the air reeked of blood and burning iron. The invaders came not to conquer, but to capture. They called themselves collectors, and they sought only the strong, the beautiful, and the rare. She was all three. So when her spear broke and her leg gave out, they chained her throat with a collar that burned with blue light and dragged her from her world. She was sold 3 times before reaching the auction block of Sector 9, naked, scarred, and proud. Even in chains, she stood tall, taller than most men, her amber eyes defiant, her muscles rippling with every breath. They called her an Amazon, a relic from a savage planet. The crowd jeered and laughed bidding numbers like they were gambling chips. She ignored them all until a quiet voice cut through the noise. 500,000 units, said the man in a simple black coat. The crowd fell silent. He was human, but not like the others. No smugness, no cruelty, just stillness, like a calm sea before a storm. The auctioneer blinked, stammered, then declared sold. She was taken to a ship, given clean clothes, food, and her collar was deactivated, but not removed. She expected demands, expected him to use her body or a blade. Instead, he led her to a room with a bed, books, and a window looking into the stars. This is your space. He said softly, you are free to leave whenever you choose. She narrowed her eyes, waiting for the trick, but none came. Days passed. She did not speak at first. She trained in the ship's cargo. They fought with shadows and the memory of lost battles. He watched sometimes from afar, never intruding. Once he offered her a wooden staff. Instead of sword, she accepted it, and their first wordless duel began. He moved like a scholar, not a warrior, but with precision and balance. She knocked him down. He laughed, and it startled her more than any weapon could. He told her his name was Cale, historian turned traitor. He had seen too much cruelty in the galaxy, and decided if he could not stop it, he would at least save those. She asked him why he saved her. He said, because I saw your eyes, and they reminded me what freedom should look like. She wanted to hate him, but found it harder each day. He never ordered her, never raised his voice, never touched her. Without invitation, she watched old films with him, ate stranger food, and read books about fallen empires and forgotten queens. He asked about her people, about her tribe, and she told him in bits and pieces about the Osirians, a matriarchal warrior culture that raised daughters in fire and sons in song. One night during a meteor storm, she stood beside him on the viewing deck. He looked tired, older than before. She asked why he risked so much for someone like her. He said, I did not buy a slave. I freed a soul. You just needed to remember you had won. Something shifted in her that night. She removed her collar, placed it in his hand, and said, I choose to stay not because I must, but because I wished. He nodded and smiled, and for first time in years she smiled back. Together they visited distant planets, some peaceful, some hostile. She acted as his guard at first. Then as equal she taught him how to fight properly, how to move with purpose, how to read the language of the blade. He taught her how to negotiate, how to read star maps, how to see the beauty in stillness. Rumors of the Amazon and the quiet humans spread through the trading networks. Some called them mercenaries, others called them rebels. But those they helped knew the truth. They were liberators, breaking slave rings, rescuing stolen children, toppling corrupt governors, one mission at a time. She no longer hid her past. She spoke of her fall and her rise. She inspired others, warriors, dancers, workers who thought they were broken, found strength in her story and her fire. She became more than a warrior. She became a legend. Cale never asked for recognition, never claimed her glory. He simply stood beside her, steady and true. She came to realize that love did not always roar. Sometimes it simply endured. And when he nearly died during a mission gone wrong, she realized she could not imagine a world without him. She nursed him back to health, sitting by his side, reading him tales from her homeland. And when he awoke, she told him, I was born for war, but you taught me peace. You gave me more than freedom. You gave me purpose. He proposed to her in the garden of a temple beneath the twin moons of Aurelis. She laughed a deep, joyful sound and said, yes, if you dare face a warrior, queen every day for the rest of your life. He said, I have already faced worse and survived. Their union was not traditional, no rings, no rituals, just a shared vow spoken with hand over heart and eyes unblinking. They were partners in every sense, co-captains of a ship that bore the symbol of the broken chain, now welded into a circle complete, unbroken. Years passed, their names became myths, but their mission never faded. Wherever chains were forged, they broke them. Wherever power was abused, they challenged it. She taught the next generation how to wield a sword with honor and how to live with dignity. He built schools and libraries and sanctuaries for the forgotten. One day they returned to her home world, now free and rebuilding. She stood upon the ruins of the citadel, where she once fell, and placed a blade in the soil. I no longer need this. She said, I am no longer just a warrior. I am a builder, a teacher, a wife, and above all a woman who chose her own fate. The stars watched in silence as she and Kale walked hand in hand into the dawn, leaving behind not just footsteps, but a path for others to follow. Her people, now free again, remembered her not just as a warrior, not just as the Amazon taken and returned, but as a flame that refused to die, and a woman who turned pain into power and love into legacy. And the galaxy remembered too, not just the battles, not just the victories, but the truth that one act of kindness, one choice to see a soul instead of a weapon can change everything. She had been bought in chains, but was freed by choice, and because of one quiet man, she rose to become more than any warrior could ever dream.